Hashtag CyberShield Daily. How to protect your identity online. Every single day, approximately 15 million Americans become victims of identity theft. That number is not a typo. 15 million people wake up to discover that someone, somewhere, has stolen their name, their financial history, their medical records, or their social security number and used it to destroy the life they spent decades building. And the terrifying truth is that most of those victims had no idea it was happening until the damage was already done. So today, we are going to change that. By the end of this video, you will have a complete, actionable blueprint for protecting your identity online, not the surface-level advice you have heard 1,000 times, but a deep, thorough breakdown of exactly how identity theft happens, why traditional defenses fail, and what the most effective strategies actually look like in practice. Let us start by understanding what identity theft truly means in the digital age, because most people have an outdated picture of it. Many still imagine a thief rummaging through a mailbox or stealing a wallet. That physical version of identity theft still exists, but it accounts for a shrinking fraction of total cases. The modern identity thief operates almost entirely online, and they are often extraordinarily sophisticated. They are not lone criminals working from basements. Many operate within organized criminal networks, complete with customer service departments, technical support staff, and automated systems that process stolen credentials at industrial scale. Your identity, in the digital sense, is composed of multiple layers. There is your personally identifiable information, or PII, which includes your full name, date of birth, address, and social security number. There is your financial identity, encompassing your bank account numbers, credit card details, and loan history. There is your medical identity, which covers your health insurance credentials and medical records. And there is your digital identity, which includes your email addresses, usernames, passwords, and device information. Criminals target all of these layers, sometimes simultaneously, and they use the pieces to reconstruct a complete picture of who you are, then use that picture to impersonate you in ways that can take years to untangle. How does this data get stolen in the first place? The answer is almost always through one of four pathways. The first is data breaches. Between 2020 and 2023, over 15 billion records were exposed through corporate data breaches. Companies like Equifax, Facebook, LinkedIn, T-Mobile, and dozens of others have all suffered catastrophic breaches that put your personal data directly into criminal marketplaces. When you sign up for a service, you are trusting that company to protect your information. When they fail, and statistically, many of them will, your data ends up for sale on the dark web for as little as $5 per record. The second pathway is phishing. Phishing attacks have become remarkably convincing. Modern phishing emails no longer look like poorly written messages from Nigerian princes. They look exactly like official communications from your bank, your employer, the IRS, or Amazon. They use real logos, real formatting, and real-sounding language. A single click on a malicious link can install a keylogger that silently records every password you type, or redirect you to a fake login page that harvests your credentials instantly. The third pathway is social engineering. This involves manipulating people psychologically rather than attacking systems technically. A social engineer might call your bank pretending to be you, using fragments of your personal information gathered from social media to pass security verification. They might impersonate a tech support agent, a government official, or even a family member in distress. This approach bypasses technology entirely, because the weakest point in most security systems is human psychology. The fourth pathway is malware. Malicious software can be delivered through email attachments, compromised websites, fake apps, or even infected USB drives. Once installed on your device, malware can extract saved passwords, capture screenshots, access your camera and microphone, and transmit everything it finds to a remote server, all without triggering a single visible warning. Now that we understand the threat landscape clearly, let us talk about defense, and we are going to do this properly, starting with the most foundational layer and building outward. The absolute foundation of identity protection is your password strategy. Weak or reused passwords are responsible for a staggering number of successful identity theft cases. The solution is a password manager. Tools like Bitwarden, 1Password, or Dashlane allow you to generate and store unique, complex passwords for every single account you have, passwords like 47-character randomized strings that no human being could ever memorize or guess. You only need to remember one master password to access your vault. This single step eliminates one of the most common attack vectors criminals use against ordinary people. Built directly on top of your password strategy is multi-factor authentication, commonly called MFA or two-factor authentication. Even if a criminal somehow obtains your password, MFA requires them to provide a second form of verification, typically a time-sensitive code from an authenticator app like Google Authenticator or Authy. Hardware keys, such as YubiKey devices, represent the most secure form of MFA available to consumers, and they are nearly impossible to phish because they require physical possession of the device. Enable MFA on every account that offers it: your email, your bank, your social media, your investment accounts, all of them. Your email account deserves special attention here, because it is the master key to your entire digital identity. If a criminal gains access to your email, they can request password resets for every other account you own. Protect your email with the strongest password you have and the most robust MFA option available. Consider using a dedicated email address for financial and government accounts that you do not share publicly. The next critical layer is credit monitoring and freezing. A credit freeze, also called a security freeze, prevents lenders from accessing your credit report, which means criminals cannot open new credit accounts in your name even if they have your social security number. You can freeze your credit for free at all three major bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and you can temporarily lift the freeze whenever you need to apply for credit yourself. This is arguably the single most powerful identity protection tool available to Americans, and the majority of people have never used it. Complement your credit freeze with active monitoring. Services like Credit Karma, Identity Force, or even your bank's built-in monitoring tools will alert you when new accounts are opened, when your credit score changes significantly, or when your personal information appears in known data breaches. The faster you detect suspicious activity, the faster you can respond and limit the damage. Now let us talk about your digital behavior, because tools and services only go so far if your everyday habits create vulnerabilities. Public Wi-Fi networks are a serious risk that most people dramatically underestimate. When you connect to an unencrypted public network in a coffee shop, airport, or hotel, anyone on that same network with the right tools can potentially intercept your traffic. The solution is a reputable virtual private network, or VPN, which encrypts your internet traffic and makes it dramatically harder to eavesdrop on your activity. Look for VPN providers with audited no-log policies, such as ProtonVPN or Mullvad. Be relentlessly skeptical of unsolicited communications. If you receive an email, text message, or phone call asking you to verify your account information, click a link, or provide personal details. Treat it as suspicious until proven otherwise. Legitimate organizations will never ask for your password. Go directly to the official website by typing the address yourself rather than clicking links in messages. Call official phone numbers you find on company websites rather than numbers provided in unsolicited calls or texts. Audit your social media presence with a critical eye. The details people share publicly on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn give criminals enormous amounts of raw material for social engineering attacks. Your birthday, your hometown, your employer, your mother's maiden name, the name of your first pet, these are all common security question answers. Restricting who can see your personal information and being selective about what you post can meaningfully reduce your exposure. Keep every device you own updated.